to GENG. Things like TF, LeBlanc, and Ryze have been banned away, so GENG have committed 3 mid lane bans. I wonder if they're going to blind Syndra or Azir on 2-3 here, and maybe pick up MF Yuumi. That wouldn't surprise me a lot, unless they want to pick their jungler, of course, with 2 junglers, if you include Graves, being banned already. But I'm expecting Mad Nami pick here, MF, of course, and GENG picking jungle or Syndra slash Azir.
Looking at jungle bans, Xin Zhao is up. Trundle would be a bit early for this kind of a draft, and it's not a prized ban. Jarvan, another one that we see picked a fair bit. Unless you want to go full assassin style, right? Things like the Talon and the Kiana are often good Yuumi bait. You kind of run in and become a 2-man army, but as you mentioned, Syndra was certainly a possibility here, and that's going to be locked in. Yeah,
what will Humanoid match you with? We could see Sylas. The matchup isn't that great, but decent ults to take away from things like Yuumi. But yeah, Nami 100% getting picked up here. You need to pick up your support to match bot lane. So, Mad Lions can target jungle, GENG can target mid lane. Maybe they want to invest 5 mid lane bans here, or maybe they want to take away some kind of counter picks that Armut might have, depending on what Rascal wants to blind pick. We've seen him a lot on Graves. Mad Lions, of course, have banned it away.
Well, we always think about that Wukong counter pick, the pocket pick. Armut is great at it, tends to win a whole lot on that champion. And if you're going to play AD top, which is 80% of the picks up there, that's kind of what you're looking at here. So you're seeing, yes, the Yuumi synergies, the Talon off the table again.
Yep.
Kiana feels like one that easily often joins it. Orianna, typically Syndra considered advantageous in the matchup from my memory, but getting rid of good teamfight mids.
Yeah, what's left really? I mean, Humanoid played Azir earlier on in the day. I think it was against GENG, so maybe they want to ban that one away and just do 5 mid bans. But like you called, Talon taken away. Do they want to target Klid's Jarvan here? Obviously doesn't have that much value into Lucian Lee Sin, but if you play in a mobile mage, and Nami still can find some value. It's a losing jungle matchup into Lee Sin 1v1, but Klid has been playing a lot of Jarvan.
Xin Zhao instead, yeah, they'll let him play the Jarvan.
Yep.
Go ahead, losing jungle matchup as you mentioned. I feel like you've got the pedigree to call that one out. You're only an LEC jungler. As we know, LEC jungler's pretty good in League of Legends.
Indeed they are.
Yeah.
Indeed they are.
Yeah, fighting you up.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Elyoya wasn't super great last game. Had a few fumbles, I'd say, especially on those top dives, but he found his way back in the game. Now he's on his Lee Sin, of course. He was playing Kiana. Maybe Klid wants to opt into that.
There we go.
There's the Wukong ban, like you talked about, denied that from Armut. But yeah, if you're looking at AD junglers right now, you're looking at Trundle, you're looking at Jarvan, and you're looking at things like the Kiana, which losing jungle matchups apart from Trundle.
We're seeing a Jace come through. That feels like it stands out in my mind. Mad Lions, of course, very shy of frontline. They don't have it for support. Lee Sin, not the tankiest jungler either.
Humanoid Victor, yeah, he's got a deep champion pool. He's got control mages ready now. Like you said, expecting some kind of Jace here, that would give reason as to why they banned Wukong. Could opt to things like the Kennen as well, which you've seen find some success. Armut, of course, was playing Kennen in one of their games. He really struggled, fell really far behind against TL, but then still found a lot of fights with the champion itself. Olaf, again, another AD jungler actually that I missed out on. Olaf, Yuumi, so strong together. The problem is Olaf is running into a Lucian Nami Victor, so he doesn't have the easiest targets. I mean, if he can get onto them, he'll kill them. But a phase rush Victor with ultimate and a lot of damage from expected Liandry's, he will get burned down.
A little bit better than being up against a LeBlanc in the mid lane. Makes it a little bit easier than when Adam went for it in the top lane. This is going to be, of course, jungle Olaf, as Ken is going to come through in top, has been very successful. And Jace, as a lot of people expected, likely to be the answer up top.
Yeah, Jace is good into Kennen, of course. There's like this trifecta in top lane where Kennen's good into Gnar, Jace is good into Gnar.
Oh.
And they're actually going to opt into Gnar again. This is a matchup, as we say it, we're going to get Armut's Irelia. So I don't think we've seen it on stage yet, but I've been watching a lot of solo queue games from these pro players, and Armut has been spamming a lot of Irelia. This is the first time we'll see it on the stage, but against Kennen, that's a winning top matchup.
And Lee Sin going to be aggressive down there. Obviously, Olaf can help as well. If you land the first axe, you're going to land the rest of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, long-range axes, if you're good enough, you can sidestep them unless there's enough CC leading up. So maybe Rascal makes it happen, but gonna be fun to watch how that 2v2 turns around, if it is gonna be one.
Yeah, Olaf will go straight through Irelia's W, right? He has so much true damage with his E, with the red smite as well. It's a pain for Irelia to deal with, so Armut have to play in the wave. And if you're looking at both comps holistically, Mad Lions, of course, running a 1-4. They have great team fight, but Armut can pressure side lanes pretty handily. And GENG don't have much to match that. Syndra, Kennen, double AP solo laners. That means whoever goes side lane, Armut will build magic resist, and he should win out if he goes things like the Wit's End. So as long as Armut's not shut down early, they should have side priority, but GENG's team fight is pretty scary.
All right, team fights have been good. They've been important, but macro has been more so. How well do you play the side lanes? How well do you set up for Dragon and everything else? This is the last game of the day. The winner gets a far easier quarterfinal matchup. The loser is gonna have their work cut out for them to win a best of 5 against some of the very best teams in the world. Dom1 Kia, T1, and Royal never give up, which is the reigning LCK champion, the reigning MSI champion, and the LCK runner-up. Those are the teams you face if you lose this game.
Just Faker.
Or just Faker in general, at Worlds. Turns out he's pretty good at those.
Pick your poison, really.
Yeah.
All of them pretty scary, I must say. T1 really stepped up in the second round in Group B, of course. And snatching that spot from EDG, who were favorites initially. As we're going to load into game here. Both very interesting drafts, I must say.
On to the Rift. Here we go. Game number 9.
Oh, Jesus. 9 games.
Yes.
The final one, though.
The final one.
And they're fighting for that.
Yes, the Summoners Cup in about 3 weeks' time. Quarterfinals begin on Friday. 4 days in a row of quarterfinals. Next weekend is semis. Next weekend is the final itself.
Oh,
gee.
We're straight into almost a minute in. GENG just going 5-man bot to place a ward onto Elyoya's blue and Gromp just to get information as to where he starts. Of course, if he's on the ward, he's starting bot side. If he's not on the ward, he's starting top side. Mad Lion's going to match that on the opposite side of the map. I think Clid put that ward down and then based for a sweeper, I expect. And he's probably going to sweep out that top side ward. So a little bit of experience for Rascal in the early lane. We'll give him level 2 on the first 6 minions.
So Clid's not the one who put the ward down. I mean, he can sweep before the minions spawn, before the monsters spawn. Similar about here, where actually Kaiser's holding onto one as well. So this is a really fun meta call. Because, yep, you're going to kill it in time. Sure, the information's still gained, but now you're not losing time when clearing the ward. It means Rascal levels up off of 6 minions. That's important for the top lane difference. It also means Clid is not 3 seconds late to start his blue buff, so he's going to be on pace. Similar, by the way, for the Mad Lions duo. They didn't actually go for the sweep. I thought they were going to walk through and do it, but just keep the sweeper to play for the 2-on-2.
Yeah, a little bit early trading here in mid. Of course, Syndra has the range advantage with Q. If Victor can walk up and Q auto, then he can get a good trade off. As Armut gets his passive stacked up.
Takes a fight, but yeah, Rascal trinket wards the lane, and you can't juke that brush, and it is sort of so interesting for me to see top laners, like, they will trinket ward for 2 auto attacks. So important is the health bar difference that that's what they're gonna ward.
Gotta get the top diff going in. It's personal up there.
Yeah, it means you can't ward the jungler, obviously, because that cooldown's far too long, and Rascal just absolutely blasting Armut.
Wave's pushing into him, but really bad trade. Has Doran shield and potion to heal up, and both junglers pathing bot. Aggression in bot.
Level 2 for both. Exhaustic Knight on the Karzi down to 200 health. Now back on to Ruler, has to flash away. Is there a flash follow? Kaiser is going to run out of health as well. Q's going to land, but they can't get much more. Nice 3-hit on the W, turns things back around.
Lots of sustain coming out. Kaiser's heal coming in clutch there. A lot of summoners blown.
Double auto, not quite enough to kill.
Okay, so GENG used all summoners. Mad Lions still have flash on Kaiser. Elyoya did a really quick level 3. Red into Raptors into Gromp. Fastest level 3 in the game. If Kaiser can cancel the base here, then maybe Elyoya can find something. Clid is around.
Ruler is almost one-shottable. I mean, Sonic Representing Strike actually almost kills. Life would love to find an auto attack onto a champion. That's going to be mana and the shield, a huge deal, and suddenly he's back into the lane. And as Clid covers, they know they can't be tower dove.
Yeah, both junglers were pathing bots, both matching there. Clid defending the dive. And Armut will be okay. You know, if Clid was top side, there was a world where Elyoya dives bot, Clid dives top, and then it's just a cross-map trade. But both match. But the important thing is, though, Mad Lions have bot push. So Elyoya can take this bot crab, and he could look for double crab if he so chooses. So Clid probably going to clear out Krugs, maybe go to Raptor's crab or base and move top side. We'll see what he does for now, because it looks like Elyoya is just going to clear out his camps, and a lot of bases coming in here.
So VOD recalls, grabs a control ward, gets a Doran's ring. TP's back in the lane, wants to have that pressure. This can help that second crab not go down. Humanoid lands a bit of poke, and he's now going to take his own recall just a little bit after.
Yeah, Clid on a ward here. I think the important thing here is, as Karzi trades really hard onto Ruler, if Rascal can crash this top wave like this, he's going to be able to base and save TP as Kennen. So the only person with TP in this game you expect is going to be Rascal, and with all this bot trading and Karzi having no flash, that could spell danger for Mad Lions if he does so to choose to keep it up.
Nice try on the death ray, not going to land that one here. Close game, 200 gold lead to GENG in the early farm.
How did I say that?
Yep, just TP back to the lane, sorry.
The cannon wave, it's pushing into him. I think he could have maybe saved it, but he wants to keep his lead and keep the push. Here's the second crab we were talking about.
Yeah, the BDD is there, Rascal's there, Trinket Ward, and a Control Ward. And now Elyoya, he's still being attacked, has a flash, but also has a friendly neighborhood Krug camp.
There it is. There it is. So everyone's based right now, apart from jungle and bot. Lots of trading still happening. Looks like GENG now have the push after that bouncing wave and have sustained their way back up.
Yep.
I think Elyoya does need to base soon. Clid as well. Both junglers still out on the map.
You know, I'm sad it's called Recalled now, because then we could say based in Blue Pilled, and it would just be, it would, you know, work as an internet meme. But it doesn't, so never mind.
Was it? What was it used to be called?
It was Blue Pill. Now it's Recall.
It was Blue Pill.
Yeah.
When was that?
In beta. I think they renamed it in like 2010.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a League of Legends boomer. Yeah.
Jesus, I started playing in like season 3, I think.
Did you know in beta TF could gold card twice in a row by just autoing then autoing again?
Was that a bug?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised. That doesn't sound.
No, it didn't clear the buff.
That doesn't sound so healthy.
Yeah.
No TF in this game though, but that champ has looked really, really strong at Worlds anyway. 11 years later. And everyone's starting to base now. Yo-Yo's gonna base, pick up the Iron Spike Whip. Klid similarly, and Herald's up in 2 minutes 30 seconds. You expect teams to start contesting around the top side then, but it looks like, I think GENG had quite a strong mid jungle in the early game, right? Syndra, Olaf, really good setup onto a champ like Victor, especially with Humanoid running Airy here for lane rather than phase rush for defensive reasons. But they haven't actually been able to punish anything just yet. All summoners starting to come back up now for bot lane, and Armut was having a really tough time earlier on, but it looks like it's evened out when this wave starts to come in.
Down goes some more minions. Ruler left alone for now. Yuumi obviously not the strongest roaming champion. Of course, yes, you can link up with someone like Klid and then you can go off and get stuff done, but you generally do want to get your gold stacked up so you can actually get some wards down when it happens. Klid and Elyoya gonna cross paths here as Klid has the information advantage. Elyoya did blast plant, does have a ward, and has to waste 75 gold to hop over. That
sucks, doesn't it? Having to use your pink to get out, because now you can't really contest river vision. Klid just smartly covering bot. He knows Ruler doesn't have flash for another 30 seconds. As Humanoid ult sign mid, forces BDD back. Maybe he wants to use this to push out the wave a little bit, but maybe he was scared of some kind of all-in. Problem is, Mad Lions are being pushed in mid, pushed in top, pushed in bot, and Klid is now getting deep vision on their bot side jungle, so GENG have a lot more information to work with right now, and although the gold is even, the map stays so much more favorable for GENG.
Sure. Mad Lions went for a very aggressive all-in 2-on-2, right? You gave away the all-important first pick Yuumi to play a laning dominant duo, and that laning dominant duo was equal in farm. Waiting for the first recalls to come through.
Yeah, I think Klid might go towards Drake here. Still has bot push, bot crab spawning, enemy mid space, or he can just look for bot crab. That Drake does hurt quite a lot, so if Elyoya shows up, he might be in trouble.
Still poking back and forth. Yuumi a bit low on mana. Kaiser does have the regen advantage there, so you can maybe, force a bad recall, but Syndra's on the move, Olaf's on the move, and the shield is back on here for life. Here comes the slow to MF. Ruler not quite 6, but exhaust on Karvi means he's dead. Barely the heal in time, but Klid, go, Klid, you gotta chase this one down, buddy. Auto E, puts down the Q, gets the kill, 2 on the board. GENG on the road to a top seed.
Yeah, Mad Lions just keep getting pushed in on every lane. They have deep vision. Maybe they can cross map top here. Rascal doesn't know where Elyoya is. Maybe ward jump, flash kick could come out here.
Yeah.
Bring around.
Q to a minion, land the R for the slow, let Lee Sin follow. At least he force a flash, but they don't even go for anything. They kill a blast plant and a Scryer's Bloom and a blue buff.
Yeah, disaster for Mad. Carzzy didn't have flash for around 5 seconds before that play kicked off, so we'll see it again. Look at the bottom of your screen. Carzzy's flash is ticking, 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 and this dash forwards was the end of Carzzy. A little bit of disrespect there. Ruler playing a little bit of bait. The wave was pushing in. Mad thought they had some kind of 2v2, but Carzzy's flashed up now, so there's no point even using it at that point. Kaiser does escape from BDD, but Klid's there to clean up the work. And a lot of trading early in bot, and GENG were the first ones there, winning mid jungle 2v2. Constant bot push. Klid keeps covering, deep vision, and play for the lane.
Something they could have known. Elyoya was top jungle. Humanoid could have easily called. BDD's missing on a mid. A risk they didn't have to take. A risk that was punished. Armut, gonna take a fight right here, and they're gonna have to pull off this Rift Herald to take this fight in the top side. Armut is out of mana, has to flash to stay alive. Has Rascal ults to put in the damage, and yes, Armut is gone. Flash follow, finds the stun, but I don't think it's gonna be lethal. Rascal, that math is knowable. As now GENG are gonna look for the second half of this fight. Rift Herald proudly in the arms of Klid. And it is GENG winning out.
Yeah, Mad Lions doing a little bit of cinema gameplay here. Just walk up, watch them take the objective, and now do the walk of shame back to bots where they can maybe look for some kind of cross map. They should be first there. Humanoid invested his ult, Armut invested his ult and flash, and they got nothing of it. See if they can take away this red for now. Klid is on the top side of the map. Ruler is level 6, and Elyoya has the kick.
Not sure what Scryer's Bloom saw, but now they know for sure Ruler and Life are here. But Smite versus no Smite means it's a guarantee if you don't misplay, and Elyoya claims it. And despite the 2 kills, that would total about 1,000 gold, kill and assist combined. It is actually only an 800 gold deficit, so Mad Lions are winning out in farm. 12 CS in mid. That's a pretty big deal. Humanoid taking runes for the lane, and he is beating BDD with it.
Yeah, but I think GENG, BDD's only really down in CS, I presume, because of the bot roam. And then Clid has Herald as well, so there's a lot of standing gold right now for GENG. They just need to find a lane to put the Herald down in. Do you want to put it in bot, which Ruler can contest the push in, or do you want to put it in top, where Rascal has already gotten one play Ruler?
Good stun, big damage. This could hurt a lot. Exhaust is in, Ruler down to 200 health. They sidestep the bullet time, and Carzzy is here to put in the pain towards life. Double auto comes in, not gonna kill. Just barely does life live.
Oh, look at Klid's ghost timing. He has it in around 5-6 seconds. He could have chased Carzzy down there. But Armut going on to Rascal.
Does not land the stun, but does have minis to jump back to and heal back from. Mini wave helps as well, level 8 for each. Conqueror's deck, you can't quite tower it up. That one, ult still on cooldown.
Okay, so signs of life for Mad Lions. Now all of a sudden have a gold lead themselves, mainly through CS and that 2v2 kill bot. And let's look at that again, because Carzzy dashes aggressive. The wave's being tanked here, but the bubble connects, and then just watch Carzzy's movement here. Lands the passive a lot, and then look at his ultimate here. Pulls it around Ruler and just gets there in time to take him out, and life escapes with 1 HP.
Dash in, double auto, but the E was still on cooldown until now. That would have meant lethal damage, but it does bring them back in. That is hype, yes.
You can see the moment that Carzzy realizes an axe flying towards him from his facial expression alone. Armut, no flash.
And in a 1v2, this is going to be tough. Jumps around a couple of minions, but he's still going to be stun locked. Gets one himself. Knows he has to queue for healing to get anything done. Not going to live.
This is a great rotation from GENG as I bring up the minimap here. What they basically did was they died in bot, so instead they just ran straight top, shadowed their top laner with their jungler running up as well. So they dropped bot waves, ran top, popped the Herald, and get a full tower for Ruler. Knowing Armut had no flash, it was either a dive or a gank, and it works out either way. Now GENG just snowballing ahead with that objective.
The lion's share of the local turret gold went to Ruler. They are snowballing the misfortune. 83 CS is the deficit right now, but with turret plates and turrets, that's going to feel good. Always feels good to get the charge of the second turret as well. At some point, you're going to claim that. The most valuable turrets on the map, gold-wise, are side lane tier 2s. So getting that kind of pressure is meaningful.
Yeah, Mad Lions haven't found too many cross maps right now. The only advantage they found is through lane phase and through this 2v2 bot kill. When GENG did the Herald, they didn't take the Drake. Now GENG have made this play top, and Mad Lions haven't been able to answer with anything in bot, so every single play hasn't really been answered by Mad Lions. They tried to match, but they've fallen short. Now they're grouping up down towards the bot side river. Maybe they want to force a dragon.
Finally now. Yeah, finally now they're hitting it. Sadly, it... I mean, yeah, GENG didn't really go for the full reset to get the bot right away, so this should be uncontested. They take their time, make sure you take camps on the way. Okay, sure, no worries. They will get something back on the bottom side, knowing that they saw Olaf and everyone else up top. Okay, great. Ocean Drake claimed. Gonna fight back a 1,600 gold deficit with a dragon. It's not an advantage yet, but there is light. I
think Armut's freezing top. I think this is actually a really good freeze here because he has TP to match any play Rascal makes on the map. So having TP and being able to freeze at this tier 2 is pretty good because Rascal doesn't have that much playmaking unless he can find a flank. And he can't really find a flank this early in the game. So this freeze from Armut, really, really good. Rascal's just doing crap right now. And if Rascal does choose to make a play mid or bot, Armut can always match it with TP.
Not much to play for, right? Dragon's down, Herald's down, Baron's not spawning for 7 minutes, so... All right, you overextend in a top side with 0 ward coverage. He has one, right? There's one for the red buff. That just timed out, though, so it's a risk to get the farm.
And that's exactly it, right? There's no real play for GENG to make on the map. Unless they had some kind of TP ward bot or they could gank mid. Humanoid's playing safe. There's no objectives, like you said, so now Rascal's just, well, taking away a red buff. That's going to hurt Elyoya. But Armut doesn't mind too much. He's down a level, so freezing here and getting back in CS is always a bonus, especially when you're playing Irelia.
Instead of going for the lane, he stays in fog and goes for the counter jungle. Red buff claimed, 100 gold, thank you very much, decent XP. A camp is worth about a mini wave, and now Humanoid forced to flash away. BDD not level 11, so not a ton of damage on ulti, but Clid is here to tower dive, and Clid is here to clap on Humanoid. The ult not gonna get it done, and another one on the board for GENG.
Yeah, another quick kill there, and you have to question Humanoid now. Phase rush, if he had that, he probably would have lived and ran out, but has the Aerie for lane. Instead does end up falling. GENG again won't really be able to translate this into much. Maybe a plate for BDD, a push out and a base. But a kill's a kill, and no flash on Humanoid means he has to play even safer under that tier 1 next time around.
You can see the gold total so close on those top 4 of GENG, all 46 to 5K. Equally pretty much rich over there. Mad Lions, some kind of bigger troughs and valleys here with Armut being set a fair bit down. Lowest farm in his team, of laners at least, and obviously no kills to his name, no turrets either.
Yeah, and GENG as a team, they've always topped their group. Last year they topped their group 5-1. They got out lost in the quarters. The only ever time GENG fell short was 2018. They lost in their group. They came last place in their group in 2018, and they're the only LCK team to ever get knocked out in groups over the last 7 years.
Yep.
So winning this group here again would be great for them.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. Mad Lions are behind right now. GENG in a good spot. The only real play Mad Lions have been able to find this whole game really is bot side. Armut has a pretty favorable matchup, but because of the losing mid jungle early and because of the lane phase, they haven't been able to find anything there. Elyoya
wants to play, cannot get the kick though. Wardhop, but nah, he's immune. Elyoya goes down because you're going to 1v2. I'm sorry, the support for your bot lane is not enough. Gold lead grows 2.7 thousand, and another ward falls.
A little bit of disrespect there from Elyoya. You can't kick an Olaf. You're basically testing Clit there to see if he can react to the kick.
And he can. He can jump the wall, right? It's got to be up from cool than it is, but his health bar is low. Bullet time nearly kills. The heal helps. The move speed also instrumental, and he will heal. He'll win the fight.
Does he win those?
Double shot, dash double shot.
Darcy?
He's fine.
Okay.
I never doubted him.
Okay.
Absolutely never doubted him. Get a cloth armor.
He wins. Drop does magic
It does match damage. Yeah, you're right. I actually know that one.
You should know that one for
I did. I said it as you said it.
Okay, I'll forgive you. But Carsey!
Okay, diving in for a bit more. Ruler is left alone, and guess what? Lucian's guns are better. Bubble mistimed, though, means that's going to be Rascal on top. Rascal getting a kill, assisted by MF, and Carsey, who sidesteps an axe, is not going to get away from this one, and Clid takes him down. Arma TP's in to not get much done, and runs away.
That's the flash. Maybe he has to use it here if BDD tries to connect the stun. Okay, Armut's ult's just tossed to the wind, and yeah, Humanoid didn't even toss his TP down there because I think he knew the fight was already over. Armut did, so they're not going to be able to get anything again on the cross map. GENG turn a losing play into a winning play with Rascal's TP. BDD moved down, that's another tower for GENG. Now with a 4,000 gold lead with the first dragon of the game, 1 minute on the next one. GENG probably going to look to base here and set up the second dragon.
They miss a cannon. That's, you know, a silver lining to the cloud that is currently reigning over Mad Lions. Check out our Axe Vector replay.
Yeah, you see Carsey goes again aggressive on bot lane, catching out Ruler, who's made 2 missteps now. That's the second one. Carsey gets the kill, but then again, the play just turns right on its head. BDD's already moving down from mid. Rascal's here to match. Humanoid doesn't even use his TP because he knows the play is lost. There's no way he can defend his Lucian, and he ends up falling. Armut luckily gets out without having to use his flash, but the problem is, Mad Lions keep responding to GENG's plays and watching them take towers in their face without actually taking something of their own.
The ult off screen was there just in case there was a, you know, like a flash stun play from the Syndra. The slow might be enough for you. Go for a key reset, survive another turret. But instead, we are going to see the second Herald of the game go cleanly over to GENG. They got the first. It charged into top lane tier 2 as well as killing top outer. So they could cash in the rest of the way if they want to summon it there, or they knock down mid lane outer. Also very valuable for map movements. Humanoid does not get stunned, but takes some damage.
Yep.
And there's the mid summon.
Yeah, the only positive right now for Mad Lions is solo lane experience. You can see Armut's up a level, Humanoid is up a level. That's the only thing that's positive right now for Mad. They're up in XP on the solo laners. Cars is also up a level, so experience in favor of Mad, but gold is not great right now. Dragon is up. I think Mad Lions are trying to stop GENG from getting there, but GENG are just going to push in mid and move towards top tier 2, which is already low from the previous Herald. See if they can force that one down, Rascal.
Fight in the top lane. Of course, Armut channels W through it to stay alive. To not that a slicing Maelstrom. Bullet time forces the flash. As Ruler got an auto attack crit coming down, but now look at the play in this side. Quick ulti for Clid and BDD able to hug the wall and get out. Mid lane gonna take a bit of damage here. Carsey and Elyoya pumping in the shots. Top lane tier 2 dropped though, so more money still earned by GENG.
Yeah, Mad Lions can turn towards the Dragon as well after this next mid wave. GENG did get the top tier 2, but Mad Lions answer with the mid tier 1 and expecting a Drake as well. So trading evenly when you're 4k down, 5k down is always a good thing. So Mad Lions keeping themselves in the game. We saw last game as well, they were behind in gold against LNG, but they found plays to keep the game in an even state. And that's what they're doing again here. Still quite dire, 4 towers to 1, but 2 dragons in their back pocket is always a good sign for the scaling into the late game.
And a gold lead with a dragon stack was how GENG lost their game to Team Liquid in the regularly scheduled portion of our games. They came back in the you know, the aftermath anyway, but you know, light at the end of the tunnel. You follow the TL way, you find a way to, this time an Infernal Soul, arguably a bit stronger than Cloud Soul, so possibility to play for if Elyoya smites are on point.
Yeah, I will say Kaiser is buffing up Carsey a lot. Electrocute Nami with Mandate, so the new passive on Lucian with those 2 buffs. He will be dishing out a lot of damage when he has those 2 items, and that's probably why they're winning out on the all-ins in 2v2s. Obviously less sustain than having Airy, but the 2v2s have been going in favor of Mad Lions, so a lot of buffs on the Lucian the longer this game goes on.
Yeah, the last one was a 2v1, made it even easier, but yes, certainly a pretty valuable.
Is Armut's freezing top again? There's nothing else on the map, so it's probably a good freeze. No, it looks like it's pushing out now eventually. Humanoid has flash.
That's gonna land. This could be pretty big. Humanoid, yes, he will flash, but Olaf's under the tower, and there's nowhere else to go. He doesn't run fast enough. The wave is tanking the turret. Ruler gonna run away from the Chaos Storm. Life to buff him back up. Elyoya splits the uprights there on the Q. Not gonna find much more. Klid able to walk back with a slow.
Yeah, GENG are playing on 2 lanes though, mid and bot pushed in, so they can choose which one they want to put tower damage onto. I think Mad Lions have the short path from mid tier 2 to bot tier 2, so they should be able to hold this one as well. Carzzy holding mid, they just have to be careful of some kind of dive. If BDD connects a stun, they can look for some kind of all-in. Armut's base and is here to cover. Can they defend this?
They're gonna try to go for a 3-man stun, but not gonna go for the actual fight. Never gonna take that battle. They were outnumbered. Humanoid's still dead.
Yeah, another tier 2 though for GENG, 5-1 in towers, putting on a clinic over the side lanes, pushing in mid and making sure they have 2 lanes to play for all the time, so they always can win out wherever Mad Lions decide to match numbers. And again, Humanoid has flash, but they see Elyoya base, they know he's alone once the stun connects, and he's not running phase rush. So he just gets run down from the Olaf with Ghost.
Nice patience wait for the Lee Sin. Okay, we know we can dive it. And yeah, as soon as you see that flash, as you mentioned again, the choice of Airy versus phase rush is one for laning domination, but it does not let you get away from an Olaf. And Klid with a Yuumi on top runs at you, and you're not getting away from it.
And it's the same story again. You look at the XP, you look at the CS lead in the solo lanes. It's in favor of Mad, but GENG are just playing for neutrals non-stop. Elyoya
kicks him back.
Away there.
Spectator.
Yeah.
Okay, he in fact goes backwards. Fine.
Saves Carzzy, but GENG own the top side jungle. Still, you have to get this mid tier 2. Once this mid tier 2 falls, GENG can push Mad Lions all the way back to their base gates, get deep vision in their jungle, and then keep threatening Baron Armut. It's in a 1v1, but Kaiser's nearby, and there's a TP from Humanoid.
I like this. Ulti is on. Rascal forced to flash to stay safe, running as far as he can. Finds a stun. The wave is now gone. And the tidal wave will only give some move speed to the Mad Lions side. They will not get any more CC in a Rascal. Able to flash to safety. Not lose that bot turret just yet.
Yeah, lucky for Mad Lions. GENG on in a position to start Nash. Ruler moved down, and Life had the base. Klid was clearing mid-wave. If they had some kind of setup around Baron, they maybe would have turned towards it, and Rascal would have just TP'd out a bot to there. But it looks like Mad Lions will get themselves a bot tier 1, so 2 towers now in their favor. Humanoid lost TP, but the TP from Victor isn't that important. It's more so Armut's TP. He's the one on side lane. He's the one who's going to be pushing bot the majority of the game. And Mad Lions just need to make their last line of defense on this tier 2 mid. Once that falls, I feel like GENG can start setting up Nash pretty easily. Look at the deep vision they have. All the way, wards all the way almost to their base gates.
Every single player on GENG has more gold than the opposite member on Mad Lions. The only difference being 2 dragons. Kaiser able to sidestep. Not the absolute best bullet time, but Nami may be forced to flash unless they can get the reinforcements. Kaiser still stuck in a bad way. Gets over the wall. Okay. No deaths, but Summoners lost for Mad Lions.
Oh, Kaiser found that ward. That ward right there that Kaiser's hitting, I was thinking maybe Rascal could drop a TP on that. That's a perfect TP situation right there for the Kennen with 2 items completed with the Void Staff. But yeah, Mad Lions just trying to weather the storm. GENG, it's really hard to just push an advantage straight into tier 2. The reason is their side lane strengths are not their strength. It's more about grouped up fights. They don't have someone who can push out a side all the way to tier 3 and then move towards mid and threaten something. But BDD.
Good damage on Elyoya. The shield comes in. The Nami heal pretty good as well. He's going to stay alive, but Ruler's coming in. Klid's coming in, getting away from the slows. Stays alive. Thank you, minions. Mad Lions stay without a death, but it's still 8-2. 5-2 in terms of turrets. 4,000 remains the gold lead. And mid tier 2, that is the last turret outside the base. Nami wave hits onto 2 as well, but it will not stop the push. This turret should fall, and indeed it will.
Yeah, Mad Lions used 2 ultimates to try and defend this. Humanoid gets stunned, but he should be alright. GENG looks like they're backing off this dragon that's spawning in 30 seconds. Again, Armut will answer with a top tier 1, but this last line of defense, you can see Mad try to find a way to defend it, but that's fallen now, so GENG will have full map control. All outers down for Mad Lions.
Especially with Armut spotted in the top lane. Like, he's pushing. TP flank's not going to happen. All right, we're good to go. Dragon is spawning in 10 seconds. Mad Lions comeback likely lies in dragon stacking. They are back on the map, and they are heading back down to that side.
I wonder if they can contest it, though. Yes, Armut's basing and has TP. Might have the Sterak's completed, but the problem is you don't have many ultimates. Victor and Nami ults down. I think they're very, very big for the upcoming team fight. So if Mad Lions do opt to start this, then they won't have 2 key ultimates. GENG not going to contest through mid. They don't have the push in mid. They have vision towards bot, so they're going to move through bot. Double TP coming in. This is going to be a 5v5.
MF just now came back, so they're ult in 2 seconds. It will be up in time for the fight. So it's Humanoid and Kaiser missing theirs, and that makes the fight so much harder. Elyoya can maybe spite, lanes the Q. He's got a chance. Bullet time to get it low, and no, it's going to be picked up. It is GENG who grabs it and stops the sole possibility. Carzzy on the way out. Is there more to this fight as the ultimates have been spent and it looks like everyone is out?
Nice try there by Mad Lions to burst it down. Elyoya will get his base up. You can see what they were going for, culling into smite. ends up losing the 50-50. GENG come out ahead and they denied the soul now for Mad Lions for at least 10 minutes. 35 minutes is when we would see the next soul if Mad Lions get the next two. Big thing for Mad Lions though is 2 TPs out of GENG. So the side lane pressure becomes a lot easier. When Humanoid's TP comes back up, he can start holding bot waves, but GENG is still in a commanding position right now. This game so important to finish as the first seed, like we talked about, to get an easy quarterfinals or an easier quarterfinals run than facing up against Faker, Damwon, or the MSI champions.
Carzzy still stacking up the crit. The culling scales off of that now. It is very important to keep that one going, and once he finishes for Dominic's, he actually can hit frontline decently to try to be one of the big carry forces. Has a lot of farm. Not quite as much as his teammates, as the front line is going to try to keep stacking up. Aurelia on the way towards his second MR tank item. Elyoya about to be spotted here by Clid. Has a trigger to jump to, has a control ward to jump to. It's going to be just fine. But now GENG get to take control of the top side, get to play around Baron, and use their 4,000 gold lead to push this game farther.
Yeah, but again, look at the CS leads. I keep bringing it up, but look at the levels. The solo laners of Mad Lions still a level up, still up 40, 50 CS on those solo laners. They've just been catching side waves and dropping objectives, trying to cross-map tier 1s for tier 2s here and there and try to scrape a little bit of gold out of every play from 10 to 15 minutes onwards. And it's really paying dividends now because Humanoid has TP up. They can actually start to contest bot waves here and there if they want to. Carzzy.
Yeah, Rascal going to be exhausted. There's the culling, doesn't quite kill though. Cost him a summoner spell, did not flash to stay alive, didn't have it anyway. But that is mid-wave cleared, that is VDD looking for. If he ulted, that was a kill on the Kaiser. Doesn't have a stopwatch.
Maybe he was a bit scared of getting hit by an Aurelia stun if he walked up there. But still, you can see the damage this Syndra does on 2 items. But it feels like the items are still being matched here and there. I think Clid is probably the one with the biggest gold advantage alongside Life right now. So jungle support, this Olaf Yuumi scary combination is pretty scary. You can see on the solo lanes, again, ahead for Mad Lions. Carzzy's down 1k, but it's mostly on jungle support. So if GENG and Life, if Clid and Life can't find a way into the fight, then Mad Lions should have control. You can see they're actually able to push GENG out of the river.
You mentioned the 3 primary laners of Mad Lions were up a level. Life up 2, but Kaiser hits 9, so it's only a 1 level difference there. Yes, the XP can matter a lot. That is one thing not reflected on the scoreboard and can be upwards of 500 gold in stats per level, not just counting the ability ranks, which is also, you know, functionally AD or ability power or something, right? So, yeah, game slightly closer than it looks at the top of the scoreboard. Fighting for the top spot out of the group. Fighting to dodge some of the best teams in the world until semifinals. And honestly, what a run that would be for Mad Lions. Last time they were at Worlds, they failed at play-ins, and a lot of people gave him flack for that. Hey, is it gonna work at MSI? It did, actually. With rookies, Elyoya stepping in. Carzzy had been there for more than a year, but still a very young player. MSI was not bad. They took Dom 1-5. It was a good run. Here at Worlds, ooh, a 1-3 start. Okay, yeah, EU's doomed. Brought it all the way back. And here, down. But they had to come back about this large against LNG.
Yeah, Mad Lions always feel like their backs against the wall, whether it's in an MSI group or it's best of ones or last game to clutch it out. They still find their way somehow, even though they do get doubted quite often. And GENG on the other side, if they do lose this game, there's a chance they face T1, who they lost to in the playoffs, or Damwon, who they lost to in the finals in spring. So 2 out of 3 chances to face against RNG, who they haven't really faced in recent times, so probably hoping for that one. But for now, closing out this game will solidify them as facing a second seed from a different group. Feels like Mad Lions still in the game, kind of, just because of the CS leads. Armwith is level 16, Rascal's level 14. I feel like GENG haven't really found a way to push the game forwards and snowball it into a decisive victory or into a decisive play that's broken open the game.
Still trying to tank up. Aegis of the Legion done. No Magic Mantle on top. Really wants to just like completely tank Rascal and BDD. You mentioned him stacking MR. He is indeed doing that.
Yeah, Humanoid level 16 as well now. BDD level 14. There's so much XP leads. I keep saying it, but GENG need to pull the trigger on something soon.
Well, they're going to keep bleeding away gold. The gold lead just sits at 4,000. This is all I said during the LNG game, and it turned into a Mad Lions win. It's just 4,000. It's just 4,000. It's just 4,000. The unwillingness to grow it any further can be a problem. GENG looking to get something done, getting rid of vision.
Yeah, and you might wonder, why are GENG so down in levels? Look, top, Humanoid's pushing top. Mad Lions are just buying time. Armut, though.
They're going to find a lot of damage, so this could be a kill into Armut, but he's so damn tanky. Level lead matters a lot. He's walking away. Clid finally stunned, and Armut would not have lived. He doesn't live. Okay, he doesn't live as long if he's not level 16.
bit of disrespect there from Armut, actually ulting onto them when Humanoid was pushing top. He was in a almost like a 1v4 situation, so bit of a blunder there. We'll see what GENG can get from it. Maybe this Dragon is what they're looking at. This Clid runs down towards the bot side of the map. They don't fancy themselves a Baron because Armut will be able to TP in 30. If it prolongs, could be disaster, and Elyoya, of course, can steal it. GENG don't have that much to zone away Elyoya if he walks up, barring maybe a Syndra stun.
But how telling is it that GENG's first kill in 7 minutes was Mad Lions initiating? Like, if you look at champion movements and champion actions and don't look at the scoreboard, it feels more like Mad Lions are the winning team because they're the ones actually going out and doing stuff.
Yeah, just really questionable here from Armut, right? Look at Humanoid pushing top. Karzi and Kaiser are around, but he's just queuing onto an Olaf with no vision on the rest of GENG, so then he's just all but dead. Flashes away, gets chased down, and does fall. So yeah, Humanoid split off. Bit of a mess there for Mad Lions. Yeah,
I mean, obviously a mistake. Jumping on a 3 is not ideal, and they get punished. The Dragon goes over. It's now tied 1-1 there, and the stats certainly are relevant on top. But the gold lead, what's the number? It's 4,000. Yep. Despite getting a kill, it's still the same number.
And GENG just keep overgrouping. Look at Rascal and Ruler sharing XP on mid-wave. They've been doing this between them, with them two, or BDD, Clid hovering around. They've been doing this all game.
4 camps up in the GENG jungle, by the way. All 4 camps are up. They're not grouping to punish, to steal camps. They're just grouping to clear the mid-wave as Kaiser throws his out.
They just want to keep contesting mid-vision. Maybe they're scared of just dropping any Nash vision whatsoever. I feel like they could make more plays over side if Rascal just goes bot and BDD shadows him and they just try to take down Armut and then TP to Nash or something creative like this. GENG just kind of playing by the book, contesting mid-wave non-stop, but sharing so much XP and gold, whereas Mad Lions are just sitting back, letting them have the push, having a little bit of vision on their own jungle and then just clearing out side wave. So game is just stalling longer and longer. And those 2 early Dragons that Mad Lions took, it means GENG won't get a soul for another 8-9 minutes.
How are you letting Armut take your jungle with a 4,000 gold lead?
Yoink!
GENG. Just chilling. Gromp's still up.
Yeah.
Who needs gold income?
Armut might complete a 3rd item here. Still has TP in case anything kicks off. There it is. Gargoyle for Armut. A lot of frontline there. We'll see if GENG can find some kind of flank. They don't have any deep wards for a TP flank for the cannon. But yeah, Humanoids keeps building items. Maybe he's going towards the Rabadons now. Armut has 3 items complete. See what GENG can get done now. They have some kind of setup. 4-man towards the top side after Ruler finishes red, and they should have some bot push.
Okay, Kaiser poked a little bit. Level 11 in for life. That is actually pretty useful. Yuumi levels matter a lot, by the way. She's one support who scales very heavily with game time. Big damage on a Clid. Karzi gets away from the stun.
But again, 3-4-man mid to contest mid-wave, and Mad Lions just keep catching sides. Like, GENG need to force something soon, I feel like. Yes, the gold is in their favor, but just feels like they're on a timer at this point when Victor is now level 17. Armut is going to hit level 17 soon. Maybe a pick could be what cracks this game open. Humanoid.
This could be the play. Clid's coming around him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Here we go.
He's dead.
He can TP, but it would be snuffed out by light. Here comes everything charging in. Level 17, flashing, wants to kill Ruler, can't find it. And GENG finally get their own pick.
Yeah, the word is finally they take down Humanoid. 50 seconds on him, but they previously killed Armut in those 40 seconds on Armut, and they weren't even fancying a Baron now, so it's just some kind of base race. Rascal might have to just jump in and clear the wave if Mad Lions keep pushing down here. No, looks like they'll get a tier 2, and Mad Lions might have to drop this top inhibitor. Cracking open top inhib will hurt Mad Lions a little bit, but they have good wave clear to sustain through it, but still, that's one way to break open the base of Mad Lions.
Karzi able to actually stay on the map long enough to get bot lane tier 2. We saw Armut was down there pushing the wave in, was the first one to recall to help defend, and hey look, it's 2 turrets for 2 turrets, and in terms of actual gold earned, tier 2s are worth more than inhibitors. The inhibit itself means a ton of map pressure, could easily be worth more. Elyoya not to be stunned.
So 2 picks for GENG. They got themselves a Dragon earlier on. Now they got a top in hit, but again, yeah, 2 towers traded for it. Now they're going to start up the Baron. Karzi was bot. Humanoid has TP. He's moving through mid now. GENG should see him. Are they going to back off, or are they just going to full commit to this? Rascal will need to TP in soon.
All right, teleports are burned. A stun. Decent damage on Armut. Karzi is around, almost level 16. Damage towards Clid. 14 on the Olaf. Jumps to the minions to stay alive. And of course, it is a Baron being reset. Now, it did force a teleport down. That is a meaningful cooldown that GENG got Mad Lions to spend. And now we know the next Dragon spawns in 1 minute. And if Humanoid's the one holding top, he cannot join the Dragon fight.
Yeah, but the stare down just continues. Like I said, 50 seconds on the next Dragon, but it's only Dragon Soul point for GENG. Mad Lions, do they want to give it up or do they want to fight it? I think the next spike for Mad Lions right now is Humanoid's Rabadons. He's sitting on 2 needless. When he completes that item, he will be incredibly strong and will be able to match the 3 items of BDD, which is who is also building towards that Rabadon. The problem Mad Lions have right now is no flash on Humanoid against a level 16 Kennen. Could spell lights out, especially given that he has no stopwatch either, so no defensives for him. And again, Karzi building towards IE.
And we can see by the minimap, I don't think Mad Lions are even bothering to contest with this Dragon. They're going to give this one away. And we check into the gold lead. If you round, it's only 3,000. It has been getting a little bit closer. Obviously, Humanoid having as much golden XP as possible. Would love to have those waves be unanswered, but GENG first going for mid lane. I like this. Again, they know no TP and far away is the victor, so they're pushing into the mid lane. Going to take a 4v4 because Kennen is down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, fake pressuring there, Armut. He ults in to scare GENG into backing off, and then all he does is just clear out the wave. He's tanky enough to sustain the damage of 3 members, so good fake pressure there from Armut, forcing GENG back. They will go and get the Dragon, but just pushing them out of their tier 3 mid.
Well, an inhibitor is worth a couple thousand gold of free farm if you don't touch the wave. Humanoid grabbed 3 or 4 waves, and it's pushing back. This is golden XP, again, that Mad Lions are getting, that GENG are not. Typically, that pressure gets you something else, though, right? It gets you this Dragon. It puts you towards a Dragon Soul with no chance of contest. It does force a flash out of BDD. Well done to Karzi, level 16 on the Lucian, back to a level lead over Ruler. Yeah,
he almost has Infinity Edge as well. You can see Humanoid's almost flame horizing BDD at this point. GENG, the timer is ticking.
Humanoid's far, it's a 5v4. Can they engage? Can they find it? Rascal not going for the flash ult. He could have taken the fight and doesn't. Armut frontlines though, exhausted. Channels a W, Starix pop, stays alive, but 1,000 health. Mad Lions forced to run. Rascal gonna get zoned out by the gravity field.
You can see what Armut is trying to do there. Jump in and then pop Gargoyles to get the extra buff on HP and the shield, and then try to run out. In the end, he does have to expend his flash, which he probably had to do in the first place, but still, GENG have full control of topside jungle. They're gonna push Mad Lions out. They have a top wave pushing in. Armut has TP up now as well, so he can afford to go on a side lane. This Irelia is getting stronger. I think he's building towards Wit's End as well now, so will dish out so much damage. Does GENG just fancy a Baron start again? Try to force Matt to respond, maybe force him into a mistake here. TP coming in from BDD.
It's Envision. Nami's in base, and it's known as the waves were giving a lot of information. So Mad Lions have to get there fast. Elyoya will almost be in range. Can he make it happen? He cannot. It is GENG who get the smite in time. But the culling is a kill on a BDD. Armut is in. Armut has taken down Ruler, and they're going to get a third. Baron buff is still on. Rascal has to do it all now. It's 2 versus 3. Mad Lions outnumber. Humanoid with a death cap does so much damage. Karzi going to flash in. Karzi going to find the kill, but exhausted, he will trade his life. Rascal drops. That is an ace for GENG. The Red Bull Baron power play ends with GENG in the dirt.
You know exactly what Karzi was saying there. I'm not letting that Kennen TP out with the Baron buff, so he just flashes over, drops the exhaust, does end up dying to the burst that Rascal has, but Mad Lions hold on. Time is Mad Lions' best friend, and they've been buying it all game long. 3 minutes until the soul, and you can see GENG felt like they were forced into this. They saw that the Mad Lions had bad base timers. Elyoya, cheeky little ward jump there to dodge the Cinder Stun to try and get the Baron itself, but 3-man kick into a Humanoid, 3-man Chaos Storm. Armut then manages to clean up and buy enough time for Humanoid to arrive, and Mad Lions wipe GENG off the rift.
The man barely lived almost, right? He almost survived out there running away, but this cleanup is good. Obviously, Rascal never went for the aggressive ulti, right? Like the fact that GENG somehow have a Kennen ult up after a team fight is shocking to me. Maybe it was on cooldown, just came back, but obviously well done, going 2 for 1 to dive into that one. Well done, Karzi. You are an absolute delight of a player.
So let's take stock. Humanoid, almost 6.5k damage dealt there. Let's take stock of the game. Humanoid has flash up again, but Karzi lost his. I think 6 items are coming in for practically everyone right now. But Mad Lions slightly more favored. Yes, the gold lead is still down 2k, but I think their solo laners have started to complete really key components for the late game. Have defensive items now as well, you'd expect. And then the next objective will be this Infernal Dragon. 2 minutes on the clock. Baron up in 4 minutes. So everyone's going to be trying to contest mid and bot push. For now, GENG have control of the bot lane.
They've identified that side lanes indeed exist, and so BDD going to push that one down with teammates. But the trap is not to be set over there, not to be sprung, as top lane is where Mad Lions send their resources. Armut to push that wave in. A couple of recalls coming through. Nami is going to be here to defend as Yo-Yo steals a blue, and no, top won't be attacked after all. GENG don't even siege the bot lane. They're just going to wait for Dragon to spawn. In 130, we are going to see a 4-stack Infernal Soul. That is going to be a big power spike if GENG get it.
That is incredibly scary. So I think Now, key thing is 1 minute 30 before Dragon, everyone needs to start basing, needs to start setting up vision. Doesn't matter what core items you can complete, whether it's a GA or an Infinity Edge at this point. I think vision is just way more important because whoever face checks first gets chunked out. We saw what Carzzy could do with a vision advantage over BDD. The second he walks onto his ping to try and clear it, he can dash forwards, pop out the culling, and force BDD out. So now Mad Lions want to push in the waves, clear out the vision in their bot side jungle, and start to amount some of their own. If they can stop this Dragon from falling, then they're on Dragon Soul point as well. But GENG wants to find the soul. Clid will face check Elyoya here.
Level 16, though, actually has a level lead over Elyoya. Olaf really likes the ultimate rank power spikes because it's a bunch of extra armor MR. Helps you tank that front line a fair bit because he's the only melee champion on his team.
And that's the thing, it's getting really tough for Clid to just run straight at Mad Lions against a level 18 Victor with those items. Carzzy with a buffed up Huge Fire as well, so GENG starting to get forced back. Big damage onto Elyoya from the poke from BDD once again. 30 seconds on the Dragon. Next mid-wave is what everyone is talking about. If they can push this in, they have free passage into Dragon. GENG will have to contest through mid.
25 seconds on the Dragon. Mad Lions need to deny it. GENG would love to have it. Armut fighting for a ward. BDD gonna spot him, but again, he's pretty MR stacked. This damage isn't that meaningful and can always get Nami help and the Gore Drinker to heal back up.
You see Mad Lions pinging their sideways, question marking. Can they kind of backdoor here if we stay too long? Humanoid, massive damage on the Clid. Tidal Wave comes out.
Everyone sidesteps it, so one ulti down. GENG on their way back into this fight. Armut takes a slow, he's pretty tanky, dives in, goes for the backline. That is Sterik's pop, that is Shield's pop, but he goes down. Ruler finds the kill, and Mad Lions are gonna scatter to the hills. GENG would like to get a bit more done. Clid not gonna land the slow. Finally, at the end does tag Humanoid, but do you even battle without a top laner now?
I think you have to. Freak, BDD's basing, he has TP. Where is he gonna TP back? Elyoya's going for the super play. Good stopwatch.
Great stopwatch, and a smite comes through for Clid. They trade back Kennen, 4v4. BDD needs to get into this fight fast. Elyoya pops the GA. BDD needs to find someone to kill. He's gonna get one. Clid healthy enough, GA popped, and that's it. Kaiser, the only one left alive.
Yeah.
The minion waves, are they close enough is the question.
50 seconds on Humanoid, 30 seconds on Armut. They have a bot wave, but I think the bot wave's too thinned out for them to be able to push this in. Yeah, it is. 2 caster creeps will fall. 1 will be alive maybe, but no waves for BDD to push and end the game alongside Clid. But still, Infernal Soul for GENG. I feel like Armut made a massive blunder there, going way too deep into the whole 5-man stack of GENG. His team was too far. The only thing that could follow up that was the cutting from Carzzy. GENG will just push the bot wave in and will back off. 60 seconds on Baron. That's the next objective to fight around, and Armut just going in way too deep here. Humanoid forces Clid out. Yes, you use Nami ult, but now you need to make sure GENG can't get in the choke. Wait for them to walk up, but he goes so deep onto Ruler, and the only follow-up is Carzzy.
Humanoid cast 0 spells by the time Armut died. I'm not blaming Humanoid, I'm saying that's how far back he was unable to help.
Yeah, and this contest was so messy, wasn't it? Because Elyoya goes for the kick, Ruler stopwatches it. The 50-50 goes in favor of Clid, but then everyone starts to drop from GENG. Humanoid and Carzzy cleaning up house. Ruler has GA, of course. Clid has GA. Carzzy gets dunked after a stopwatch. So, of course, GENG win the fight with the double GA coming out from the Olaf and Lucian.
Always fun to see. Yeah, stopwatch very good. Obviously still killed through the Guardian Angel. And we're back on the map. Baron is available. GENG have won every smite fight so far.
Look at Ruler's items. He has the Zhonya's Hourglass now on the MF. Does have some AP scalings, of course, but wants to make sure that he can't die and wants to stopwatch any kind of kick from Elyoya.
Absolutely. You instantly die if Lee Sin kicks you in, so I actually like the idea. We see players who are richer actually sell the Guardian Angel while it's on cooldown. That also is a pretty solid idea. And we look again at where the play could be. Mid-waves, trade back and forth. GENG not really able to wrest vision away. They don't get to walk all the way into the jungle. 3.5 thousand is the gold lead, but this time with an Infernal Soul over the top means they are much stronger.
Mid-wave contest once again from both teams. Only Baron is up to contest as a neutral objective. 3 minutes 40 seconds on Elder, so they're not going to wait around here for too long. GENG going to start moving into the top side with the top wave pushing in and try and get some vision to force Mad Lions out for this grouping right now. They don't really need to force over side lane, they just need to defend their own vision.
Worth noting that Rascal and Humanoid are completely full build. Gold is mostly useless. Maybe elixirs, but even those have already been bought. Ruler going to go ahead and solo the Baron. Has enough lifesteal from Runes, it's not too bad.
Comes out from Kaiser once again. Clid
locked up pretty heavily down to 1,000 health, and at best gets a route onto Armut. So pretty good poke. Humanoid's ult still up.
Yeah, none of these teams have a point-and-click hard engage, you know, not like a Leona or a Rel where someone's going to jump in and the fight has to happen. These are long-range ultimates coming in. Yuumi ultimate, Nami ultimate. Unless Elyoya can find a kick, which is easily interruptible by BDD and Ruler with the stopwatch, no one can really pull the trigger and get the fight started off straight away unless someone walks up. Armut and Klid, the main tanks, main kind of damage dealers as melee champs for both teams.
Mid lane wave, the target yet again. Elyoya gonna be kind of the front line.
Humanoid.
Rascal wants in, Rocket Belt kicked away, big by Elyoya. No stuns, but Humanoid has nowhere to go. That said, the kill can't happen. It's the Kennen who's dead. Humanoid gets out, Klid couldn't finalize it. A double kill for Carzzy.
That's 2 kills for Mad Lions. If they base with their solo laners right now, Armut and Humanoid, they can TP back. Elyoya might be in trouble.
Dead.
Does die.
Dead.
The Mad Lions fancy forcing this at 4 versus 3. Looks like Carzzy's just going to move towards the top wave. Eyes on the TPs. Are they going to use them? One coming out from Armut.
I think they should.
Nash
it's a 5v4, why not?
Yeah, Nash is up. No one has
4v3.
smite on either side. BDD did use the ult, and Ruler and BDD both don't have flash. Humanoid did save it. Armut needs to be careful here. If he face checks into BDD,
There's some cooldown.
Oh, W's initial damage.
He's got, yeah, the big shield, but that is damage. That is a Fed 80 carry, and you are not built tank. You are built to tank magic damage. Misfortune just deletes him. The map is 3v3, but in about 15 seconds, it's a numbers lead for GENG.
Yeah, GENG are going to move towards the Baron once they force Mad Lions. There's 3 men out. 50 seconds on Armut. Rascal can TP in if he wants or just run alongside Klid. You surely have to think if you're GENG to just force Baron here and take it away. No smite for Mad Lions just yet. Elyoya will move down, and Mad Lions have got good defensive vision towards the top side, so maybe Elyoya can look for some kind of steal. Depends how fast GENG rush this down.
Here we go. On it they are as we have Olaf. Actually, okay, yeah, he is running past Wolves. He's on the way over. Smite will be there first, but Elyoya will be close behind.
BDD? What is going on with GENG?
BDD can TP over. I guess he thinks they don't need him right away. Down to 5,000 health, but he will not be there to zone out Lee Sin. Is Elyoya the miracle worker? Oh, Klid lands the smite.
What is going on there from GENG? They left the pink ward in the pit. BDD was moving bot side when they started the Nash. Rascal was running back and forth. And then there was no one stopping any kind of steal because they didn't have any vision in Mad's topside jungle. So if Elyoya was there maybe half a second earlier, he probably could have got in the pit. But anyway, GENG get the Baron. They're going to base. Disaster averted. 38 seconds on the Elder Dragon. Mad Lions have the setup.
And some of the golden XP of Baron buff is going to be wasted as several are level 18 and several are full build. So not as impactful as an earlier Baron, but again, a gold lead of 5,000 and Elder Dragon, or a Dragon Soul. Elder Dragon coming soon. They're going to make them feel good. Ruler's going to be okay, able to get away. Burns the Gale Force cooldown to get out of Humanoid's range.
Mad Lions need to buy time. Humanoid doesn't have the ult up yet, neither does Carzzy, so they just want to play it slow, contest mid waves for a little bit. Not look for any hard engage from Elyoya unless he can find a really good angle here onto Ruler.
Nothing just yet. Here comes the push forward though, as GENG, they don't exactly own mid-wave. I mean, there are 3 minions, but they're not going to live that long, so it's not going to happen. Carzzy instantly starts the Elder Dragon. Tidal Wave to buy a bit of time. They can't burn the Baron down too fast, but how big is the front line for GENG? BDD is pushed out of the fight, and he's getting hit. He's getting hit! BDD just barely gets out of the way of the ulti. Humanoid is deleted! BDD finds the long-range shot, and now it's Armut diving in, exhausted. GA gonna be popped soon. The Zonia's down. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Top laners are both dead, but that means GENG are 4 versus 3.
Yeah, it's a 3v3. 3v4, sorry. BDD has TP though, so now he will TP back in. It will be a 4v3, and GENG have good sustain with the Yuumi. They can afford to waste as much time as they want. Carzzy and Elyoya need to find an angle. Kill still a bit. Oh!
Flashes in and can't get the damage. BDD had a Zonia's. That wasn't gonna work for you at all. Ruler here to mark Elyoya. He's on wards. Gonna take one crit. Gonna take another. It's not gonna happen. The last hope of the LEC succeeded in making the quarterfinals, but they will not succeed in taking a top seed.
Yeah, I think that's it, Freak. 30 seconds on Armut. Kaiser has to defend alone, and they have Baron buff. They have Elder Dragon. He's just gonna run it down.
He gives him the ace. It goes to Yuumi. Credit where it's due. The LCK not only get all 4 teams out of their groups, but 3 of them took the top seed. So far at Worlds 2021, this is the year of the LCK, and GENG are a fighting part of it.
Yeah, time was Mad Lions' best friend there, but eventually they ran out of it. I lost my voice in the last fight because everyone just died instantly from BDD's burst. Humanoid first, Carzzy second, and Kaiser just running it down a little bit at the end because he knows the game's over no matter what. BDD had a great performance on Syndrome.
What a battle of a day. 9 games. You didn't play all of them, sure, but you were around and paying attention and sharp for as much of it as you could be.
It was a long day.
It was a long day. I was there for 2/3 of it. GENG at the end of the day, they were 2-1 after the first round robin. Into that 4-way tie, historic as it was, and they came through with back-to-back wins to take the top spot, to get in the quarterfinals. And they're gonna face Cloud9, Hanwha Life, or EDG. There's only one opponent we're